Well, welcome to the last board meeting of December and the last board meeting of 2018. It's Monday, December 10th, 2018. This meeting of our Greeley 11 School Board will come to order. Will you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Ms. Crane, please.
Mr. DeWitt?
Present.
Mr. Hafley?
Present.
Mr. Lydiak?
Present.
Mr. Matthews?
Present.
Ms. Pappas?
Present.
Dr. Richard?
Present.
Mrs. Solis?
Present.
7 members present.
Thank you, ma'am. The next item is the Board of Education President announcements, and usually we talk about the goal and mission and the general terms that we try to run the district with, but tonight, briefly, the board is renewed with a community member filling a vacancy and new leadership in the form of an elected president of the board. None of our promises, our challenges, or our successes change tonight. And as we all know, we continue to have plenty to do. So with that, I will opportune myself to the hearing of persons desiring to speak before the Board of Education. And I happen to have in my mind right now a representative from the Council of Student Representatives. Dallas, will you come on forward and represent University High and the Council of Student Representatives with a little bit of an update on the activities of that group?
Yes, sir. Hi, thanks for having me. I'm Dallas Brown, a junior from University, and I'm here to inform you about what our board is doing and what some of the students in District 6 are doing currently. So this Friday, we're having a gift wrapping event at Greeley West at 7 p.m. So what we're going to do there is separate into 5 different stations to wrap for each charity. Then we'll deliver the presents to our local community charities, such as a Kids Place, the Greeley Refugee Center, Boys and Girls Club, Guadalupe Shelter, a Woman's Place, and I'd like to say that you are all invited. Everyone here is invited as well to come. There's going to be complimentary hot chocolate, cookies, and a Santa trail mix bar.
Whoa.
Where you DIY your own trail mix, so that'll be fun. Also, many students in District 6 this past weekend participated in ThesCon in Denver. And if you don't know what ThesCon is, it's basically a theater camp where you get to go learn new theatrical things. And I know many students in our district really liked it, and it was fun. Also, over the weekend, State Spirit Championships at the Denver Coliseum happened. Many schools in District 6 participated in both cheer and poms. University took home first place in 3A poms. So,
look at you.
CASB also happened this weekend, which we were fortunate enough, our board members, 3 of our board members to get sent down, and I wanted to thank you guys for letting us do that and giving us that great leadership opportunity. We're unbelievably grateful for that. Last but definitely not least, I would like to thank Roger DeWitt for all that you've done for our board. And over the past couple of years, you've been a true blessing to our board, and we're truly sad to see you leave. But we wish you the best of luck in retirement. And also thank you to all board members for helping us with our board and letting us have a voice in District 6. We're unbelievably lucky to have this platform. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you. I have a question, but I want to thank you certainly for those kinds of words. How on earth did your council student representatives get money to be able to buy those gifts for those kids in our community?
So in October, we had a talent show, a District 6 talent show, where District 6 students participated, and you were able to donate gift wrapping to come in or money, and we raised over $800 to be able to buy the presents. So,
Pretty awesome. I'd say thank you very much for that.
of course, thank you.
Thanks, Dallas. The next item is a continuation of hearing of persons desiring to speak before the Board of Education. And we have no takers tonight, no registrants, so we'll move on. Ms. Crane, I look back to you and I ask, please, as Board Secretary, you take notes during our work session, the period of time that we're roll our sleeves up and take a look at various issues outside of this meeting room. If you don't mind sharing what you saw happen this evening.
Of course. Board of Education President Roger DeWitt began the work session with comments and updates from board members and then proceeded to review the calendar of upcoming events and future agenda items. Superintendent Dr. Deirdre Pilch provided an update on the school unified improvement plans. The board moved to the Nightshade Room for the reception/recognition of service for President Roger DeWitt, and that concluded the work session.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Pilch, it's about the time for the superintendent's report, please.
Thank you, President DeWitt. I want to report a little bit on our Colorado Association of School Boards conference participation this past week. So all of you and I attended the conference in Colorado Springs, and we did some really good work there, and we received a lot of attention while we were in Colorado Springs. We presented on our strategic plan to a sold-out house. We ran out of materials. We had so many people attend our session. We did put them in circles and help them to begin to understand our shared decision-making and consensus-building process, and we didn't have quite enough circles because we had so many people attend, but it went really well, and it was a lot of fun and a lot of positive attention for District 6. In addition, Mr. DeWitt and I presented with staff from the Colorado Department of Education around the work we've been doing in relation to turnaround work in our partnership with the Colorado Department of Ed and the work particularly at those schools that were and no longer are on the accountability clock. And then finally, I had the honor of serving on a panel with two other superintendents as a distinguished panelist or distinguished speaker session where for 2 hours, we were asked questions by a moderator about the work that we do and the challenges we face and the hope that we have for the future of education. It was really a lot of fun and really an honor to represent District 6. So thank you for allowing me to do that, and thank you all for joining me in Colorado Springs. I also want to recognize by name the three students, your colleagues, Dallas, who were with us at the Colorado School Boards Association. Indigo Parlin from Central High School, Erica Horning from Northridge High School, and Anissa Modreza from West High School. And, you know, they were stellar. They were amazing, and I know they learned a lot, and we're especially proud of Indigo from Central High School, who served on the student panel and represented District 6 in front of hundreds of superintendents and school board members and other students. It was really, really a thrill to be a part of that. So congratulations to those students, and congratulations to the Council of Student Representatives for continuing to send such stellar students with us. I know that every year I've been superintendent, we've had a Greeley representative on that panel. Out of 178 school districts in the state, they choose, I think, 4 or 5 students each year to be a part of a student panel, and we've always had somebody on that panel since I've been here.
As long as I can remember.
And as long as Mr. Lydiak can remember, and we know he's been here a long time.
Lord knows.
Finally, it is my honor and privilege on behalf of the Board of Education and on behalf of School District 6 and our staff and community to recognize our retiring president, Roger DeWitt, who leaves us after 5 years of service on our school board. He will submit his resignation this evening to the board. And so, Roger, on behalf of the board and of the school district, I'm pleased to present you with a certificate that acknowledges that we will make a donation to the nonprofit of your choice in your honor for the 5 years of faithful and dedicated service to the Greeley Evans School District as president of the Board of Education. And want to remind you that you will always be District 6.
That's delightful. Thank you very much.
I'm going to pass this down to you.
Okay, I'm watching. Nobody can take. And I may be my own
So you,
favorite nonprofit.
yeah. I have to tell you, I had an inside source helping me to determine what the parting gift for you might most be, that would be most appropriate. And someone who said that she believes she knows you even better than your superintendent of schools indicated to me that you would provide us with a nonprofit of your choice, and that would be just the ticket. The other thing I want you to know that we're working on, Ms. Crane and I are working on a lapel pin that you can wear. This was actually Dr. Richard's idea, that you can wear to represent your presidency and your time served on the District 6 board, because you always wear a lapel pin.
I
So,
do.
that will be coming your way as well.
That's lovely. How wonderful. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, and your source for this information is patient and is accurate. So thank you for tapping that source. Anything else in your report?
No, sir.
Mr. Pilch?
No, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, the next item is the approval of the agenda. This does require a motion for us to be able to consider this item.
I move that the Board of Education of Weld County School District 6 approves the agenda as presented.
Second.
Thank you both. Any discussion, comments, questions? Seeing none of those. Roll call, please, Ms. Crane.
Mr. DeWitt?
Aye.
Mr. Hafley?
Aye.
Mr. Lydiak?
Aye.
Mr. Matthews?
Aye.
Ms. Pappas?
Aye.
Dr. Richard?
Aye.
Mrs. Solis?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, ma'am. The next item is the consent agenda, and it's also going to require a motion for us to consider this.
I move that the Board of Education of Weld County School District 6 approves items as presented on the consent agenda and authorizes the officers to sign any and all contracts.
Second.
Thank you both. Comments, questions? Seeing none. Ms. Crane, roll call.
Mr. DeWitt?
Aye.
Mr. Hafley?
Aye.
Mr. Lydiak? Mr.
Ms.
Lydiak?
Aye.
There we go.
Mr. Matthews?
Aye.
Ms. Pappas?
Aye.
Dr. Richard?
Aye.
Mrs. Solis?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you very much. The next item under special items, Arc of Weld County Bully Prevention Poster Contest. Dr. Pilch, help us out with this.
Thank you, Mr. DeWitt. I'm inviting Mr. Tom Gribble, our Director of Special Education, to the podium, and he has some guests with him from Arc of Weld County. You know that one of our goal areas is strengthening partnerships, and this is a tremendous partnership that we have with the Arc of Weld County, and we continue to make sure we're doing everything we can to enhance this relationship for the betterment of our students here in District 6, so that we can meet that big goal of student learning and achievement. Thank you, Mr. Gribble. I'll pass it to you now.
Thank you, Dr. Pilch. President DeWitt, members of the board, it's my pleasure to be here tonight with our partners from the Arc of Weld County. And we're here to announce the winners of the 5th Annual Bully Prevention Poster Contest, sponsored by the Arc of Weld County. I remember last year around this time, or about half an hour from this time last year, where you guys walked down the staircase and there was no greeting. There was, Tom, you got our calendars?
Yeah,
Right?
I did ask that.
And so, right, and so when I was checking to see that we had the calendars this year, the answer was, no. Is your board meeting tonight? Because we partner with the, with Windsor School District too, and their calendars are done. Ours are promised to be done this week, and they will come to you Roger, I'll absolutely be sure that you get yours, of course. Okay. So I appreciate our continued partnership and leadership that the Arc of Weld County provides so that this contest can go on each year. And representing the Arc of Weld County tonight, we have Leticia Arguello, who is I say we because I'm also on the board of directors for the Arc of Weld County, but the coordinator of individual advocacy, and Marcia Anderson, who is also on the board, a secretary and a parent. So I'm going to turn it over to them.
Thank you, Tom. I wanted to first thank you all for your continued support of the anti-bullying project. This is, again, our 5th year, which is so exciting, and the artistic submissions from students just continue to remind us that words and actions can be hurtful, but they can also be incredibly empowering. So the most important thing that we can do is to continue to talk with our students about anti-bullying. So before we present our first, second, and third place winners for the anti-bullying poster contest, I wanted to share with you our first place winner. Anthony is unable to be here tonight, but we all felt that his words were incredibly powerful. So his says, "Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your life. Help to put an end to bullying." And with that, first of all, since he's unable to be here tonight, our grand prize for first place will be $100 to the winner. His poster will be featured in the Arc of Weld County newsletter on our website, in the calendar that we'll ensure that you all receive at a later date, in the Greeley Tribune, and also a pizza party for his art classroom. In addition, $100 will be donated to the school's PBIS program from the district. And with that, we will present our second place winner. They will be receiving $50, a poster featured in the Arc of Weld County newsletter, featured on the Arc of Weld County website, an art calendar. They will also get a pizza party for their class, and an additional $50 from the district will be donated to the school's PBIS program. And the winner of the second place, and you have their certificate, can I take a little look?
Yeah, that's great.
Is Janae Olivas. Come on up, Janae. And I will be circulating, since we didn't have the calendars quite ready, we do have copies of the first, second, and third place.
I just passed it.
Oh, thank you. I was looking for it.
That's great.
Winners. Our third place winner is Caitlin Escobar. Caitlin will be receiving $25. Her poster will be featured in the Arc of Weld County newsletter. She'll be featured on the Arc of Weld County website. She'll receive a calendar and be in that as well, a pizza party for her classroom, and an additional $25 will be donated to the school's PBIS program from the district as well. Congratulations, Caitlin. Thank you all for having us and for continuing to support this important collaborative effort.
Did everybody have a chance to get their photo? Did you get everything done? Everything good?
Got pictures?
Okay, great. And call us when the pizzas come to your class. Be there. Congratulations, and thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks for these. This is great.
Thank you.
So it has come to the point where we will need to accept a board member, sorry, resignation, excuse me. So to do that, I have it all written out, so I will not mess up. So we will need a motion to get this discussion started, and then a second, and then there will be an opportunity for discussion, and Roger DeWitt will read his letter of resignation. So we will need a motion to start this process.
I move that the Board of Education accept the resignation of Roger DeWitt as a member of the Board of Education effective immediately.
Second.
So, yeah, I know you're on eggshells. So at this point, Mr. DeWitt, if you could read your letter of resignation.
I'll certainly
for
try.
us.
I wrote this to you as Vice President, but it's to the board. The continued improvement of graduation rates and excellent attendance data, the reduction of disciplinary problems, and the ongoing statewide recognition of the efforts of our school district serve as a source of joy and optimism for me and the rest of the residents of Greeley and Evans. It is a time of promise and innovation, in large part due to the community's selection of Dr. Deirdre Pilch, Superintendent of Schools. Hey, but despite these landmarks and celebrations, and with much work ahead of the board, I reluctantly submit my resignation as Director and as President of the Weld County School District 6 Board of Education. The board has the protocols and the confidence needed to identify an area resident who will fill the vacancy that this resignation creates. A change in the makeup of the board clearly does not alter our ongoing responsibility to our community. I depart from the board richer for all my experiences, and I wish to express to the Greeley Evans community my enduring thanks for all the kindness and support and enthusiasm I've encountered during my term. And to the students, employees, and to my board superintendent team, I certainly pledge my ongoing support as you further embrace our comprehensive plan, Innovation 2020, and its subsequent forms. So then after 2020, you're going to have to do a few more things. Respectfully submitted, Roger DeWitt.
Well, thank you. I'm actually going to start, and then we will just move along the podium for people to give their thoughts to Mr. DeWitt. I will say that I appreciate your letter, and I feel richer that I have had the honor to serve on the board with you. I have learned a lot, and I do hope that you know that I will be calling you. I do have you on speed dial, and we will not lose touch. And the board will always hold gratitude for you and all you have done. And it's just been an honor. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Michael, would you continue?
We got to hear on Friday how, from Peter Sheehan, how individual character is the most important thing, and how even the character of one person can shape large bodies and move large amounts of people. And I thought about that because I think who you are, Roger, and your character has changed this district. I think especially about the way that you welcome people, the way that you invite people in. I think you are one of the most hospitable people that I've ever met. And that is, that's really important, and I think it's been really important for this board. Just when I would want to come and advocate for something, particularly a mill levy override, that you made that so easy. You're the person who always gets up and gets a chair for someone. And I think that has made this district as a whole more welcoming, that people feel free to come into this room. They feel free to come and share their opinions. They know that they will be listened to. I think it's had an impact on us, the administration, and I think that trickles down. And I know the rest of the board members know you better, have known you longer. I don't know if you've made as big an impact on their lives as you have on mine. because it's my kids that are in this district. And they're precious. And leadership makes a difference. And so I thank you. I'm full of gratitude for the work that you've done on behalf of my kids and the other 22,300 and some odd kids in this district. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Richard?
Mr. DeWitt, Roger. Michael touched on something that I wanted to bring out tonight, and that was your calling to this position. And that has been and is, and I know always will be, your dedication to public education. Because throughout the time on this board, you have never let it slip by that we are here for the children of this district, and that we're not here for just some of the children of the district, but we're here for every single one of the children of the district. I know that there are times that have been tedious, but I've also seen you in times when you have been just so enchanted with the children that we get to meet when we go to school visits. And it is, it's a fun memory to hold of you being a large man as you are and a tiny little kindergartner, and just the two of you together, and yet so similar in mind, and just enjoying each other. And your work with the Council of Student Representatives, your exceedingly dry sense of humor, which sometimes is, captured by others, and others, times not. But you enjoy a good laugh. You enjoy sharing time with kids. But the work that you've done has been work because you believe in the power of public education and our responsibility to fulfill that dream for all of our students here. So thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ms. Solis?
It's been an honor to get to know you, Roger, and an honor to serve with you. You're an amazing leader, and I've learned a lot from you. And like I said before, I will continue to try and channel my inner Roger. I'm not sure how successful I will be. But my time with you has been just amazing. And you're just the kind of human being that the minute you meet someone, you make a mark. You're very kind to people. You've sacrificed a lot to be here and to be president. You were instrumental in getting Dr. Pilch here and getting her contract worked out. And I know a lot of the board roles and president roles you weren't quite familiar with. And there were some that were kind of sloppy with all of us. But you've just learned and grown, and you've just been an amazing example as a man, as a board member, as a president, and just as a human. And you're going to be greatly, greatly missed. And I just want to say thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Hafley?
Will there be an issue if I vote no?
Right? Right here, John.
We have some absentee
We have
ballots.
at least 2 votes.
Your legacy, Roger, will be deep and fruitful. It doesn't matter if it's the kindergartner, the teachers in the room, the administration, Dr. Pilch, or community members. You've left an indelible mark on each. And one of the things that is always really important to me is when a person walks to you, what do you think of them? And when they walk away from you, what do you think? And anybody you walk towards is excited to see you. when you walk away, they're sad. And I'm sad. Thank you, Roger.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Lydiak?
Mr. DeWitt, I'm thinking back to your appointment that I reflect upon. That was in March of 2013. And I definitely reflect upon, those outstanding attributes that you demonstrated in your application for that appointment, which was your desire to serve this district. And I would say you have done that. You have done that tirelessly. And I respect that and appreciate that. And I know this community and district does. So I would just like to say, job well done, and thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Pilch, did you want to add anything?
Well, I echo all of what all of you have said, and thank you, Roger. Thank you. Mr. Matthews said that the way you welcome people and the hospitality that you use when you greet them is unlike most people. And I think that welcoming and the hospitality that you showed to me as you asked me to come as the superintendent of schools here, and as we worked out all the details to actually make that come to fruition. And then the work you have done in leading the district since then with your board colleagues and with me and my colleagues here in District 6 has been nothing short of remarkable. You leave District 6 far better than we were before you got here. You leave us with having moved schools off of priority improvement and turnaround. You leave us with higher graduation rates than we've had in a decade. You leave us with blended learning fully implemented across the district. Your leadership and your colleagues' leadership led to the implementation and our first graduation this past spring at Early College Academy. And maybe most importantly, that day that you sat in the boardroom when I came together with the association leadership, and we were able to get an agreement. It was your trust and your support of the shared decision-making work that allowed us to dramatically shift our relationship with our Teachers Association here in District 6. And because we have shifted that relationship, we are doing work that we have never done in District 6, at least not in recent years that we haven't done. You leave us with a hopefulness and a belief in the future and what we are able to do for the children here in District 6, because you have always led with hope and grit. And I think that Greeley grit is a big part of what you leave us with, Mr. DeWitt. And I know that I will probably be a superintendent for a long time. I hope to be. And I'll probably have a lot of board presidents. But I will only ever have one first board president who hired me. And so for that, I will always thank you and honor you, my friend and mentor. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, thank you. Unless anyone else has anything they want to add, I think it's that time.
Mr. DeWitt?
Oh, aye.
Mr. Hafley?
Aye.
Mr. Lydiak?
Aye.
Mr. Matthews?
Aye.
Ms. Pappas?
Aye.
Dr. Richard?
Aye.
Mrs. Solis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries 7-0.
So, okay. Okay, thank you.
Oh, I thought you changed your mind.
I did change.
Okay.
Thank you.
Here's this for the next action.
So our next order of business is to elect a new board president. So at this time, I will open the nominations for, or a motion for board president.
I move that Reverend Matthews is declared president of the Board of Education.
Second. Is there any discussion about the? Okay. Is there any discussion or comments anyone has to make? Seeing none, are we ready for a board vote?
Mr. Hafley?
Aye.
Mr. Lydiak?
Aye.
Mr. Matthews?
Aye.
Ms. Pappas?
Aye.
Dr. Richard?
Aye.
Mrs. Solis?
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
So at this time, we are going to take a 5-minute recess to restructure our seating arrangement. 5-minute recess.
Well, welcome back to Greeley Evans School District 6, Board of Education. And our next order of business is to declare a vacancy for this board. That the statute requires that the board adopt a resolution to declare a vacancy, and we'll need a motion to adopt that resolution.
I move that the Board of Education of Weld County School District 6 approves the resolution to declare a board vacancy as presented.
Second.
Someone like to read that resolution?
Resolution to declare a vacancy. Whereas in October 2018, Roger DeWitt publicly announced his intent to resign his seat on the Board of Education prior to the end of the year. And whereas persons interested in filling the vacancy were invited to submit application materials, including resume and a letter of interest to the district. And whereas applications from eligible candidates were accepted through November 5th, 2018. And whereas the board interviewed prospective candidates at a public meeting held on November 30th, 2018. And whereas at the regular meeting of the Board of Education on December 10th, 2018, Mr. DeWitt submitted his written resignation to the board. And whereas the board voted to accept Mr. DeWitt's resignation at the meeting on December 10th, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education of Weld County School District 6 accepts the resignation of Roger DeWitt from the board effective immediately. Be it further resolved that the board hereby declares a vacancy in the office of school director to be filled by appointment by the board or as otherwise provided by applicable law, and that the appointee will serve until the next regular biennial election in November 2019, at which time an election will be held for a successor to fill the remainder of the unexpired term. to be adopted and approved this 10th day of December 2018.
Is there any discussion on this resolution? Seeing none, we'll proceed to roll call vote. Ms. Green?
Mr. Hafley?
Aye.
Mr. Lydiak?
Aye.
Mr. Matthews?
Aye.
Ms. Pappas?
Aye.
Dr. Richard?
Aye.
Mrs. Solis?
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
All right. Well, now that we have officially declared a vacancy, our next order of business would be to fill that vacancy. And so we have had 5 outstanding and well-qualified persons apply already for this vacancy. We have received their applications and, as we just read their letters of interest, studied their resumes, and interviewed all 5 of these applicants. We are very thankful for the quality of applicants that we received, and very excited to name one of them as a new board member. It was clear in their interviews that each applicant had a desire to serve and came at this work, and it truly is sacred work from the right heart and with the right attitude. And so the floor is now open for board members to officially nominate any of those 5 applicants.
So President Matthews, I would like to make a motion to nominate the appointment, and I just want to reiterate what you said, and that is that we had 5 outstanding applicants, and we really, really hope that all will put their name in the hat for this next fall, next November 2019, for election to this board when we have 4 open seats. So at this time, I would move that the Board of Education of Weld County School District 6 appoints Natalie Mash to fill the vacancy created on the Board of Education by the resignation of Roger DeWitt, and that the executive assistant to the board be authorized to deliver a certificate of appointment to Natalie Mash and forward a duplicate of the certificate to the Colorado Department of Education.
Second. If
Are there
needed.
any, Ms. Crane, do we need a second for a nomination? Can you?
Yes. Oh.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. And then discussion, if any, would follow that.
Are there any other nominations? Well, seeing none, seeing that there is only one person nominated, a motion can be made to appoint the person to that position. Is that the motion that
That's
you
the
just
motion
made,
I made.
Mr. Lydiak? Okay. Well, we'll proceed then to, is there any discussion? Oh, sorry.
Again, I already said my discussion.
Yeah. Mrs. Solis.
So I just want to thank everyone again for putting their name in the hat. It's a tough job, and the pay isn't so great. So I know that you put your name because you really care about kids, you really care about this community, and you really care about our school district. So thank you, everyone, for putting your name in the hat. And along with Mr. Lydiak, I hope and encourage all of you to put your name to run in 2019. We always need good board members, and we're always looking for good board members that have a passion for public education. We just went to CASB, and lots of discussion around public education, and we really need people who have heart and passion to make sure that all of our kids learn and that they're all successful. So thank you very much for putting your information forward for this appointment, and again, I encourage you to run.
Mr. Hafley.
Since the 30th of November, I've lost sleep. My stomach hurts. And I've spent countless hours looking at the applications and my notes on the things that we heard. Each one of the candidates is nothing short of outstanding. And as a board, we spent 5+ hours of having a discussion. And the consensus leadership that we use in District 6, you don't get to leave, you don't get to go to the bathroom, you don't get to get sick in the trash can, but you work diligently to come with a solution. And each of the people that was applied had countless nice things said about them. And I really appreciate them for what they do for our community as well as our students. And I look forward to working with several of them as hopefully they will run next fall and make our district better. But know that this decision was something that was incredibly hard. And again, I appreciate all of you who ran.
And I would just echo that again. This was one of the toughest decisions we've made in my time on this board. And we are so thankful to all who applied for this position and put themselves out there and put themselves in the public eye, had the courage to do that and the willingness to do that. And we encourage you all to consider running in this next election. Ms. Crane, shall we have a roll call vote?
Mr. Hafley?
Aye.
Mr. Lydiak?
Aye.
Mr. Matthews?
Aye.
Ms. Pappas?
Aye.
Dr. Richard?
Aye.
Mrs. Solis?
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
All right. Well, thank you again to all our applicants, and congratulations to Ms. Natalie Mash, our new board member. The next item. Next item of business is to move our next meeting. Dr. Pilch, would you like to say anything about why we might need to move a meeting?
Sure, Mr. Matthews. So our first meeting in January is regularly scheduled for January 14th, which is the second Monday of the month. And on that second Monday of the month also, Mr. Bob Toynton will be honored as the National Western Citizen of the Year that evening in Denver, which is a huge honor for our community, and several of us have been invited to be a part of that and want the opportunity to honor and recognize Mr. Toynton. He's been a tremendous partner for us, for the district, and has been very generous and gracious and supportive of our work here in District 6 far before I became superintendent of schools. So with your all's approval, I would request that we move our meeting a week earlier to January 7th. We will be back at work on that day with staff, although our students are not back in session until the next day, as it's a professional development day. But as we looked at the dates, we've got some important business to take care of, including seating a new board member. And so I would respectfully request that you consider January 7th for your first board meeting in January.
The chair will now entertain a motion to that effect.
I move that the Board of Education of Weld County School District 6 reschedules the January 14th, 2019 business meeting to January 7th, 2019.
Second.
Any discussion on this matter? Well, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Ms. Crane.
Mr. Hafley?
Aye.
Mr. Lydiak?
Aye.
Mr. Matthews?
Aye.
Ms. Pappas?
Aye.
Dr. Richard?
Aye.
Mrs. Solis?
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
All right. Well, that was a lot of business. That was a lot of board business and board priorities. So it would be great, Dr. Pilch, to get back to the work for our students. And so I think you have an update for us on our strategic plan.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We have an update tonight for you on Innovation 2020, Student Learning and Achievement Priority 2, which is primarily our work around college and career readiness and ensuring that every student is college and career ready. Dr. Hannaford is prepared with an update for you tonight, and it's a lot of information. What you'll see tonight is you'll see the big measure that we're measuring in terms of our actual strategic plan pamphlet and our data dashboard, but then she will also share with you some progress monitoring data that we're also looking at that helps to let us know along the way that we're getting to those big measurements of graduation rates. So Dr. Hannaford.
Thank you. Thank you, Board President Michael Matthews and Superintendent Dr. Pilch, for this opportunity. The District Strategic Plan Innovation 2020 has a clear mission and vision that every student deserves access to a quality education that ensures every student graduates high school and is ready for college or career. And Christina, I'm going to pause for a moment because I'm noticing that it's not on our, there we go. Thank you. Within our district's values, we know every child can achieve, and the Graduates Initiative is specifically designed to ensure that this occurs for every student. There are 4 goal areas within Innovation 2020, and the Graduates Initiative is advancing the student learning and achievement goal. We are focused on ensuring that all students engage in a challenging, personalized, well-rounded education, preparing every student to be college and career ready with the skills needed to be successful in the community and world. Our work focuses on aligning systems so all students graduate on time and again are both career and college ready. And we are driving towards 2 specific outcomes. First, by 2021, 90% of students will graduate on time, and by 2020, the average daily attendance rate will be 95% or higher. To do this, we have 2 objectives. First, to find and implement a district-wide plan that aligns our systems pre-K to 13 to fully implement the graduation competencies. And second, develop a plan to evaluate and promote existing career academies, develop further career pathway coursework, provide opportunities to access internships and career shadowing, and provide post-secondary options for all students to meet or exceed graduation requirements and ensure alignment with workforce demands. All right, so that was a lot of narrative there. So let's see how we're doing. So first, I'm pleased to share that the graduation rate continues to increase each year since 2015, resulting in an 81.5% graduation rate in 2018, which is both higher than the state's graduation rate and the highest the district has been in 7 years. This chart shows the graduation rates for students' demographic groups, male, female, and programs. The red column represents the district's 2018 graduation rate, again at 81.5, which outperforms the state rate of 78.9%. The district also outperforms the state in many areas, including American Indian Alaskan, Black African American, Latino, white, 2 or more races, male and female, students with disabilities, students with limited English proficiency, migrant, homeless, and gifted and talented students. Each of these groups is outperforming the state. We are also focused on several benchmark data points, including decreasing the dropout rate to 1.5% by 2021. I am pleased to share that the dropout rate has decreased again and now is at 2.0%. With the leadership of the principals, their counselors, and talented teachers, we have successfully implemented an MTSS early intervention system at secondary schools. We were awarded a second School Counselor Corps grant to hire 8 additional counselors beginning next school year. One will be at Jefferson Junior, and the other 7 will be at elementary schools. And we developed the Alpine Dashboard system to track attendance, student behaviors, and real-time grades for every student every 24 hours so that immediate interventions could occur. We implemented middle school and high school academic intervention programs for students below grade level in reading and math. And we are further implementing restorative justice to reduce exclusionary discipline practices such as in-school and out-of-school suspension. And here are some of the results of that work. Our second outcome, as stated earlier, is that by 2020, students' average daily attendance will be 95% or higher. Currently, we are at 93.5%. Because we know that students who do not attend school at 95% or higher often struggle academically, we are focused on providing extended time to students who do not yet meet grade level expectations. We know that students who are not at grade level need extended time to demonstrate academic proficiency. So, in elementary, middle, and high schools, we extended the school day, extended the school week, and extended the school year so that students would have additional quality time learning grade level expectations. With the support of the MLO, we have been able to dramatically increase access to these supports for students kindergarten through 12th grade, beginning in 2018. As a result, we met our goal to increase access by 50% for students needing extended learning time in summer school, with 2,780 students participating, and in Saturday school with 225 students participating. And we continue to have an average of 1,472 students participating in the extended day learning opportunities. The MLO also allowed the district to implement a summer transition program, resulting in the participation of 100 rising sixth graders and 217 rising freshmen. The summer transition program focused on academics as well as building relationships with peers and staff. This student cohort continued to receive support from their summer teachers during the first semester of school through ongoing progress monitoring and interventions. Students who participated in the program, on average, had an approximately 1.0 GPA, so a D and F average, and their school attendance ranged between 70 to 90%. The light blue column indicates students who participated in the program, and the dark blue represents their like peers who did not. So the bar graph on the left shows rising sixth grade students who attended the summer transition program had an in-school and out-of-school suspension rate of 17% compared to their like peers who had a 42% rate and did not participate in the program. Rising freshmen who attended the summer program had a rate of 18% compared to their like peers who had a 27% rate. The bar graph on the right shows our students in their core course pass rate percentages for first semester. Students who participated in middle school in the program have a 39% pass rate of all 4 cores, as compared to their like peers who only had a 4% pass rate of all 4 cores. At the high school level for rising freshmen, students in the program had a 26% pass rate in all 4 cores, as compared to their like peers who had a 24% pass rate. Increasing students' access to quality interventions continues to result in an increased pass rate for all students in middle and high schools. Middle school students have increased their pass rates by 6%, resulting in an overall 93% core course pass rate, and high school students have increased by 2%, resulting in a 79.4% core course pass rate. Although we exceeded our middle school goal and did so 2 years sooner than scheduled, we know there is still much work and growth ahead. With the support of district leadership, school leaders, counselors, teachers, and their MTSS teams, we have further advanced restorative justice practices, resulting in a reduction in both in-school and out-of-school suspensions. Our partnership with Youth and Family Connections provides monthly restorative justice training to assistant principals, who often are the first to help restore relationships between students and students or student to adult. I am pleased to share that we have seen a dramatic decrease in exclusionary practices, which ultimately increases instructional time for students. I would also like to share that although this work is part of the school's MTSS teams within student learning and achievement, it is directly connected to the Climate and Culture Priority 2 goal, that by 2022, the percentage of students disciplined will be 10% or lower, and together we have achieved this goal. The Graduates Initiative, which again is made up of secondary principals, counselors, and district leaders, continues to focus on graduating every student on time and to be career and college ready. Thus, we have expanded post-secondary advisement at all high schools. We've increased our FAFSA completion. We've implemented future centers at Greeley Central and Greeley West high schools. We've implemented an advanced manufacturing pathway at Greeley Central High School, beginning with 49 students enrolled in this first semester, and we've increased our internships. We also developed an apprenticeship program in advanced manufacturing with plans to launch a healthcare apprenticeship the following school year. We implemented industry tours for our career and technical education teachers and secondary counselors to further understand industry expectations and build industry relationships. We are implementing career pathway partnerships, kindergarten through fifth grade, so that they can partner with industry leaders and better understand the opportunities to get excited early on to pursue in middle school and high school. And we are currently implementing year 2 of our STEM grant to promote underrepresented students to engage in STEM learning. So here are some of the results of that work. So we know that one of the top indicators as to whether or not a student will continue to post-secondary learning depends upon their FAFSA completion. In 2016, our student FAFSA completion rate was 37%, and in 2018, the rate grew to 49%. School counselors, Gear Up advisors, Dream Team advisors, and our COSY Grant post-secondary advisor have aligned their efforts to continue to increase the FAFSA completion rate. Our post-secondary enrollment rate increased from 38% in 2015 to 42% in 2017, and we are awaiting our 2018 results. The Graduates Initiative is also advancing students' access to concurrent enrollment courses so that students may earn college credit while they are still in high school. Counselors are working diligently to ensure that the concurrent enrollment courses are aligned to students' post-secondary career pathways. And I'm pleased to share that we achieved our goal to increase concurrent enrollment 50% from 2017 to 2020, and that we did so a couple years in advance. Last fall, we had 210 students participate in concurrent enrollment, and this fall we have 468 enrolled, which is more than we had enrolled in both first and second semesters in all of 2017. I'm also pleased to share that the concurrent enrollment pass rate is 97%, with most students earning A's and B's. And that does not include ECA. So our Early College Academy, you would add another 284 students who are also taking concurrent enrollment courses. The Graduates Initiative is also advancing student attainment of national industry certifications with the goal that by 2020, industry certifications will increase by 50%. We have grown from 60 certifications in 2015 to 131 in 2018. This is an area that will continue to grow, especially with our new advanced manufacturing pathway that began this year and provides an additional 6 national industry certificates for students to pursue. As the Graduates Initiative continues to focus on career readiness for students, we continue to increase summer internships from 80 in 2016 to 118 this past summer. Summer internships allow students to explore a career and receive work-based learning opportunities. I am pleased to share that each year we continue to grow participation, and we achieved our goal to increase participation by 50% by 2020. I'm also pleased to share that we are launching the apprenticeship program within advanced manufacturing with Vestas this January that ultimately results in students receiving a full-time position, fully benefited with a 401k, health benefits, and post-secondary tuition funding for apprentices that continue at Vestas. All right, so this is a long list of next steps. But before I launch into all of these next steps, I want to first take a moment to share a few personal reflections. As we've already had an opportunity to speak from our heart and to hear our heartfelt passions and just thoughts towards Roger, I just want to take this opportunity to thank you for your amazing dedication. And I would also like to thank our outstanding superintendent, Dr. Deirdre Pilch. She truly is one of those individuals who believes in all kids and puts all kids first. She empowers the people who she works with, including myself, and she allows me to run after and with all students, and that I couldn't do this work without that leadership. I'm also blessed and honored to be able to work with Jenny Schilling, who is here today. She is the Assistant Director of CTE, as well as Carolyn Renaud. She is our Business and Community Partnership Administrator. They are day-to-day. We are arm in arm going after this work together. They are very creative, very tenacious, and they make this work achievable. Plus, I have the privilege of working with Wes Tuttle. He's the Assistant Superintendent of Secondary Schools, and he is running hard after all of those elementary children. He's advancing the learning at the early ages, getting them all ready for middle school and high school. And then without a doubt, none of this could be possible without the vision and the fortitude of our school leaders, our principal leaders, and our amazing teachers. They are every day doing this great work. And so these are 7 of the next great work things that we're going to be advancing together. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to hire 8 additional counselors. 7 of them will be at the elementary schools. Centennial, Dos Rios, Hyman, Maplewood, Martinez, Meeker, and Scott will all receive a full-time counselor for the next 3 years from this grant, as well as Jefferson Jr. We will continue to develop and launch apprenticeships programs, increase concurrent enrollment for our students, and expand career pathways. We will also expand summer school enrichment learning this summer with the support of the MLO, and ultimately we will continue to increase our graduation rate so that students are both career and college ready. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hannaford. Those are amazing numbers that you just presented, and I'm betting that some board members might have questions or comments on what you've just given us. Ms. Pappas.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks to everyone. I had the privilege of being part of the CASB presentation, and Dr. Pilch shared this with the people in the room. And just listening to her explain it to other board presidents and superintendents, it just was such a feeling of pride that, number one, we have this Innovation 2020, and we have these reviews and presentations that you take a lot of time to prepare for us, and I know for other people as well. But I just want you to know how much we appreciate it and how proud I was that day, and I'm sure we all were. But thank you so much, and thanks to all of your staff.
Dr. Richard.
Only to add to that, it's also very exciting to see the number of METs that are put in here and met ahead of time, and that it's such a nice way to be able to know, are we making progress? Where are we making exceptional progress? Where do we still need to work? So this piece, along with the data dashboard that's coming along, what a great tool for us as board members, but also for the entire district. So thank you for that. I wanted to make mention of the graduation rates, and that you lined those out by all the different subgroups, all the demographics, and how exciting it is to see that we are succeeding within each demographic, that it's not a few areas where we're really helping kids to graduate and leaving others out. And so that was something that I wanted to make sure we pointed out. On the attendance, we've got 93.5, and we have a goal of 95%. And so on the learning end of things, extending the day, the year, and that. But so what will it take to get that last 1.5 percentage? Because that could be a tough one.
I was looking at you. Okay, so
Feel free.
it ultimately goes down at this point to knowing every student and what they need,
right.
as well as their families. So you can do some big system changes and things that take care of many, many students across the board, and then the needs of the students are very complex, and so you have to talk with every student and their family to build the right sorts of wraparound services so that students can access school. For instance, we have some students where their parents are working and there's a very young child in the home, a toddler who's not yet in school, and an older sibling stays home. So that doesn't change by extending the school day or anything like that. It's finding the right wraparound services for that family so that they have affordable childcare that makes sense for them and the student doesn't have to stay at home. and take care of their sibling. So we don't know that until you get down into the relationship of every student and every family.
It's a really important last 1.5% to get at. The summer school attendance just exploded this year. Would you talk about that and why?
Well, my colleague, Wes Tuttle, that is largely due to elementary school, joining on with a lot of their summer school programming. So they've had a huge increase of the amount of elementary schools offering summer elementary programs, and that was allowable from our wonderful MLO, provided that opportunity.
And I would suppose that we'll hear later about the other opportunities that the MLO has allowed, or do I want to ask that question now?
Yeah, I think ask it now, Julia, yes.
Could you, as you look at this information, could you connect it back to the MLO and the MLO spending and the opportunities that students have been afforded because of that MLO?
Yes. So our MLO allowed us to extend our school day, provide Saturday school, provide summer school. We're using the MLO funding again this summer for summer enrichment learning for students. The MLO is directly funding our ability to expand career pathways. I spoke to about advanced manufacturing a little bit tonight. That is only there because we have funding from the MLO. Manufacturing is a top industry in our backyard, and yet in our district at the time we did not have a pathway that supported that industry, and now we do. And Vestas jumped right on board to come alongside us and help us with the apprenticeship program to take it to one step higher. So both of those activities are all connected to the MLO, as well as our ability to increase our students taking concurrent enrollment courses. So we have that funding in place because of our MLO too.
And the chief on the work around expanding career pathways has been Ms. Renaud, which was the one and only position we purchased.
And she is here too.
At the administrative level out of our mill levy override. So lots of opportunity has come as a result of the support of our community.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Ms. Elise?
So one of the things we definitely learned at CASB is, it's not enough to just have a plan. You really have to change people. And all the people that we have in the right places, they all have the right intent. And that shows through all the work that you do. So I know that the passion and the care of our kiddos is at the forefront for everyone that's involved in this work. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the numbers that we have. So thank you for all the work that you do during the work hours and the stuff you do after work hours, because I know this is probably still spinning in your head, ideas, solutions, what should I do next? And so thank you for that work. It's so important, and you're shaping our future, and we thank you for that. And thank you for making every kiddo feel like they belong here and that they can learn here. Thank you.
Any other thoughts or comments or questions? Dr. Hannaford, I'm especially impressed by the graduation rates. I know all the numbers are impressive, and I know they reflect the hard work and the intentional work that you all have been doing. But when I first began looking at these numbers, and I looked at our goal, and I looked at the trend line, I thought there's no way that we get to 90% by 2021. And I know we still have a long way to go. But to move that almost five percentage points in a district this large in 2 years is truly impressive work. And so you need to be commended, as do all your colleagues and our superintendent. So thank you for your work. But that work doesn't happen without money, right? And so we are going to hear from, I think, in our last piece of business, a mill levy override citizens oversight committee. Is that correct, Dr. Phillips?
Yes, I'd like to welcome Dr. Ken Humphreys to the podium, and if he would please introduce the members of his team who are here tonight. Ken has been chairing our Citizens Oversight Committee. Interesting enough, we just had a lot of conversation about the work we're advancing in District 6, and I think you can see how the mill levy override dollars are directly impacting our success with our student learning and achievement goal here in the district. And Dr. Humphreys has been responsible, along with his colleagues, to work with us on a regular basis since the passing of the mill levy override to ensure that we are spending the dollars the way that we have promised. So, Dr. Humphreys, I'm going to turn it over to you now, please.
Retired President, Dr. DeWitt, new President, Mr. Matthews, board, members of the board,
Can you speak up?
and,
There you go.
is that better?
Yep.
Dr. Pilch. I'll do that first. To thank you, first of all, for appointing such super people through the two committees that you had, the Accountability Committee in the district and the Business, not Accountability, the Business Committee, but two of the people that are here, some of you may know this gentleman back here, Mr. Tall, Mike Frick, a retired CPA, well known for his board work on other different committees. He's also from Greeley. Leslie McGrew from Greeley, who previously served on the Accountability Committee in the district and is driving every day to Aurora to work with children, child support services. First of all, again, thank you very much. And I'd like to also thank Dr. Pilch for her very clear direction and encouragement for the committee, her guidance, and particularly for us to emphasize accountability and transparency. And the other ladies that are here, two of them at least, Megan Sponsler, Chief Financial Officer, and Mandy Hydock, Director of Finance, and their administrative assistant, Gina Smith, who worked very hard preparing very detailed reports for us, very diligently, reports that we reviewed at every meeting, and they also kept us well fed. In review, just very briefly, the purpose of the Citizens Override Committee was to scrutinize the spending of the mill levy override dollars. And we expected to meet at least quarterly. We probably exceeded that by now, to review the spending of the dollars and ensuring that it's in accordance with the ballot language and the promises that were made during the 2017 MLO campaign. Two questions. Is the district living up to its commitments, to the commitments it made at that time? Is there communication with the public? I can answer both those by saying yes. What we've seen is happening. Just very briefly, to give you an overview of what we've been doing, which I'm sure you've received the reports from Megan and Mandy. But we've held at least 4 meetings, the last one being on November 27th, and we reviewed mill levy spending reports at each meeting. We also felt it was important through the committee to visit to see some of the programs that had been approved using the MLO dollars. So we visited Greeley West on September 22nd, and Jeff Cranston gave us a very good overview of the automated locking system and the new security cameras that were going to be placed and were already placed. We observed the Raptor visit and volunteer management system checking in, so anytime now we go back, I know what to do. I think we know what to do. And most impressively, too, the AVID program we observed and actually got a chance to participate in that. Unfortunately, the paper had a picture. We had a presentation by the Business Community Partnership Administrator, C.J. Renaud, at our last meeting, which was very interesting. And we have received and reviewed the MLO spending reports that you have received as a board from each of the non-charter and charter schools, January to June 2018. We've also received an indication of their plans for 2018-2019. We've discussed, as many people have, the district's transportation situation. And we requested just recently that the district request to be received by mid-January updated reports from all the charter schools that would contain more detailed information regarding each of their plans relative to the use of the MLO dollars. That's my brief report. Questions? I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and we do have a fine group of citizens. It's interesting to have some interesting discussions, and it's a privilege to be able to do this for you. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just say I think that the inclusion of the Citizens Oversight Committee was very important for the passage of this MLO. And so we thank you for your work and your time in producing for our students. And I think that is all the business that we have for tonight on this 10th night of December 2018. And so I would just say again, thank you to Mr. DeWitt, and you should be so proud. This meeting is adjourned.